Um, Edwards-Hilaire didn't practice today. He's got the same thing that Breezy had with the stomach deal, but we think we're going to get him back here. I mean, I don't think that's a problem. He's feeling better today, but we held him out. So Dorian O'Daniel, again, didn't practice today, and he'll be listed as out when you get that here in a little bit. Listen, we look forward to the challenge of playing Denver. We know they're a good football team, and they're getting a couple of their juice guys back at the quarterback position and at the defensive line spot. So we've had a good week of practice and preparation, and we know it's a battle. It always is. So anyways, with that, time's yours.
Go first to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy, you've got two of the top three guys in receiving yards in the league, and obviously they go about it in much different ways. How do their contrasting styles sort of complement each other, though, in your offense?
Well, yeah, in different positions as they work too, right? So, well, I mean, you know how different they are. I mean, you got speed and quickness built into one package there, and then Kels is big and mobile and can do a lot of things. Really, all of them can. I'm not even sure who the guys are that you're talking about because I'm not much on the stats, but I'm figuring I'm naming the right guys here. And then who's your third one? Tell me the third one.
No, what I was sort of getting at was how does maybe Kelsey's style open things up for Tyreek and vice versa?
Yeah, well, I know defenses are conscious of where both of them line up. And last week you saw they doubled both of them. They were both on the same side of the field, and it kind of looked odd because both safeties were pushed over and there wasn't really anybody on the other side. And that gives other guys opportunities. And so if that's the route you go, but they're not working as much together as you might think, Sam, on those things, as they are just working their routes on their side. And that's where Sammy, I was so excited about Sammy getting back in the mix there, and D-Rob's done a nice job, and McCole is coming on here. So all of that helps. And then they can kind of, once you get them all on there, then they play on the same side off of one another, but those two aren't always on the same side. So
go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy, I'm not sure if we got to this with Steve yesterday, but in terms of Willie Gay's progression so far, just where do you think he is entering December and where his role may be as you guys, look forward to, playing in the postseason?
Yeah, we like what Willie's doing. I mean, he's getting better every week, and this is a complicated system. And, and he had no off season with it, and he's been busting his tail, and every week he gets to play a little bit more, and it's been good for him. So, and he's doing a great job on special teams on top of that, which is also good for angles and and scheme, all those things there. So we're excited about him, and where he's going to end up isn't where he is now. I mean, he's going to keep getting better the more he does it, and that part's exciting. Great, tremendous athlete for sure.
Like we've got three more. Let's go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, kind of on the receivers front, but you were talking about the different routes that they're running. And, the last, 5-6 years, we've had that all 22 tape that we can subscribe and get and play our armchair coaches, right? Your offense obviously stretches the field vertically, horizontally, every which way. How different is that from like when you first started, like the abilities of the quarterbacks and the receivers and the quarterbacks to get the ball that far down the field, and Patrick, obviously, how much more of the field is used today than, say, when you first got into the NFL?
Yeah, so I think, Serena, goes back to these quarterbacks coming out, or that you can kind of jumpstart them right from the get-go and start them earlier maybe than what you did before, with more of a dose of your what's going to end up being your finished product as an offense. So, and then in our case, we can keep adding to it. Listen, you play, and you know this, but you play to the strengths of your players, and we're blessed to have these guys. And this defensive coordinator and head coach that we're going against this week is a good one. So he's done a good job against us in a lot of ways. So, but that ability to stretch and utilize their speed, and then the underneath ability with some of the bigger players, whether it's a wide receiver or Kels, to be able to work that low post is also beneficial. So, we're blessed to have those guys, and then they have the quarterback that can find them, use them, and wants more opportunities to use them in different ways. So that's a good situation.
Go next to Todd Levo. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Coach, I wonder when you're coaching in one of these games, it's a rivalry game, and you guys have won a lot in a row against the Broncos. Kind of, if you can put yourself in your shoes early in your career here in Kansas City against them when they had won a few in a row, what it's like to kind of try to finally get over the hump, and maybe what the Broncos are preparing for to try to get over the hump against you since you've won so many in a row. And are there some unusual things that you have to kind of be prepared for on your side when you've won so many in a row against a certain opponent?
Yeah, we really don't talk too much about that, other than we respect the ability of that football team, and so that's how we go about it. It's a great organization. They've been successful for a number of years. They've got a good head football coach, and they've got good assistant coaches, and then they've got good players, and they're starting to kind of get guys back and even become more healthy than what they were. So we understand all that. That's as far as we go. We don't talk about what happened in the past because it doesn't matter in this league. You've always got to be working to take that next notch on the ladder and fight that, because the parity in this league is just there's too much of it. And so that's how we approach it. It's a humble approach, and work hard and try to get better at what you do and know your opponent better, and let's go. Let's roll.
We'll go last to Mick Schaefer. Go ahead, Mick.
Hey, Coach, I got one off the field for you, but I guess in a field. I think you've been shown this, but a Chiefs fan created a 27-acre corn maze of your likeness. Actually, I think it was in soybeans, but whatever. I know fans do unique things for you guys all the time, but what's your reaction to that? They said it's so big that you could fit 22,058 cheeseburgers inside the mouth of it.
How about that? Protein burgers, it sounds like, with soybean. No, that's quite a deal. I wish he had a little bit more to work with, but that's all right. He did a great job with it and made me look good. So I'm happy for it. I appreciate him, and I hope he's able to sell the soybeans, because that looked like it was pretty large. Got a big head. So anyways, yeah, I appreciate it though. He's talented. It's a lot better than what the aliens, those things that they look at. Yeah, he did a nice job with it.
My zippers broke. That's not good. No, I'm just playing. What's up, guys?
Let's start first with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Frank, I know that your trajectory last year, you had some injury issues at the beginning, and then it seemingly you felt better in the middle of the season, and really turned it on at the end of the year, especially in the playoffs. What do you think was the difference from that middle stretch where you started to feel comfortable, and then the success you were able to have at the end there of 2019?
I think just blocking out the noise and just playing football. I feel like that's important usually at the end of the season, though, because that's that change where stuff started happening. You got teams that's declining, you got play that's declining, or you got teams that's arising to the occasion of the season. You got players that's arising to the occasion of the season. So I feel like that was one of those things.
Go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Frank, obviously your production's not where you would want it to be individually and as a defensive line, but all the work you guys put into it and you honing your craft, how disappointing is it to you that you guys are just a little bit less of where you want to be going forward at this season?
I feel like, to me, I care more about winning. You know what I'm saying? We go player like myself, few other players in the room. When you're used to success, it's not nothing new to you. Like, I'm used to success. I'm used to winning. I'm used to achieving all the numbers, the sacks and all that stuff. So getting another sack, getting another 5-10 sacks ain't nothing new to me. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. I've done that. The only thing that I haven't done is win 2 Super Bowls. The only thing that I haven't done is complete a season, go 15-1. you know what I'm saying, or, you know, finish as strong as we can. Yeah, of course, you know, you always want, as a competitor, you know, you always want the individual things to be better, you know, but you always want to play games better. You want to do things like that better. But, you know, only thing that I can really appreciate, you know, just being a part of this team is, you know, our willingness to win, you know, and our willingness to not be selfish. You know, we're real selfless. So, you know, you don't find a lot of guys really, you know, into the whole stat game. You know, when we the Kansas City Chiefs, we the champs, and we winning. So at the end of the day, I feel like that's more important than anything.
Let's go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, man, I know you're a sports fan, and I'm just curious. You talk about blocking out the noise a lot. I feel like a comparison I've heard a lot this year is between this year's Chiefs team and that 72-win Warriors team. I'm curious what you think about that comparison.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you got they're gonna talk about y'all good or bad. You know what I'm saying? When we was the Chiefs last year, where everybody was talking about us bad, you know what I mean? Nobody expected us to do what we did, only we did, and that was the best thing about it. You know, just like what we can do. I know what I'm capable of. And we got players on our team who are capable to go out there at any point, you know what I mean, and have fun and play a game of their lives, play, you know, just things like that. But when you got, like you just said, when you can block out that noise, you know, when you can take out the individuality of the game and enjoy the game for being a team sport, you know, I feel like that's the best part about everything.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Frank, for getting to the quarterback, the whole pass rush game of what you do, like how would you describe what is the most important part, right? You're a guy, there's some analytics out there that say you've got one of the best get-offs, right? So you're quick off the line, but how much of it's that? How much of it's a secondary move? How much of it's the hand fighting? You know, what are the elements that go into making a successful pass rush?
Number one is, I feel like number one is it starts with the get-off. Is beating your man to the point, is getting to a point. A lot of that stuff in there is like whatever a guy's, you know, technique is and stuff like that, whatever he uses to be his best at what he does in the game. Other things can play a huge, you know, point is the game plan. A lot has to do with game plan as well. You know what I mean? You know, when you got certain things, you got stunts, or you might be dropping, or you might be doing this, that, and the third. You know, that plays a large part in your role on what you're doing on that particular down and distance. What else? Sure, we can go on all day about pass rushing, man. I can talk to you about hours about it. But yeah, just like I said, being a man to the point. It's violent hands, using violent hands, hand-eye coordination, knowing where the quarterback is going to be, knowing where his point is, where he stops, and knowing where he steps up. If it's a quarterback who steps up in the pocket, like when we playing a guy like Tom Brady, where if you allow him to step up in the pocket, he's very efficient compared to playing other guys like, you know, Lamar Jackson, to where it's like when this guy's scrambling out the pocket to the right, you know, he's very efficient. You know, he's making guys miss left and right. If you watch it commonly through the league, compared like a Deshaun Watson, when you close in there making tackles and making plays, you know, just to complete the wrap up, to wrap him up and make that play because he's a wizard at getting out, you know. So it's things like that, the little things that, you know, people might not necessarily, you know, watch or know about, you know, that goes into a lot about, you know, just pass rush.
Go next to Sam Mcdowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Frank. From talking to you over the past years, it's pretty clear you put a lot on yourself. So stats aside, how do you just feel this year's going for you?
I feel like it's going all right. I feel like it can always be better. But I got more years in this game. I take everything. I'm very competitive. So, of course, you know, I want to be at the top. I know where how hard I work and what I do to put into this game. But I know that they come. My coaches know, you know, they understand me. They know how I am, especially when it comes to my competitive nature. You know, I want to be the best. That's all I care about. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about second place. I don't care about, you know, the middle in between. I want to be the best. That's all I care about.
Got time for a couple more guys. We'll go Herbie and then Nate. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Frank, sort of follow up on what Seren was asking you about some of the elements. When you line up in your mind, do you know before the snap if you're going to use a chop rip, a stab club, a double arm swipe? I mean, what do you know? What goes through your mind process when you develop the mentality? I'm gonna get a sack here.
Honestly, I don't pre-plan a move. I got a large skill set of moves. It's just really about timing. It's about when I can use those moves and, you know, at the rate. You got to be comfortable in the game. You got to get into a rhythm. A lot to do with the like you said, going off his question. It's I didn't mention rhythm. It's rhythm. You know, you got to get into the flow of the game, understand what your opponent is doing, things like that. And the faster you can get into that rhythm, like if I figure you out, it's over with. You know, every old lineman in the world knows that about me. You know, every tackle knows that. Like I'm gonna figure you out. If I figure you out, it's over with for you. And this year it's just you know, you got some difficulties here and there. You know, even with last year, you know, it's just some difficulties here and there because you got to play within the game plan. I'm a team player. I'm not about to go out of the game plan to make a play. You see a lot of that stuff in football today, where you got guys, you know, they want to be the show. They want to go. They want that sack so bad. They chasing sacks. They doing stuff like that, and you see it affect they team. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I told myself. I pride myself on being as a team player. You know, team first before Frank. I've gotten there. I got into where I am today by being a great teammate, not being a great individual player, to keep it real. I've had players along my career who's helped me, you know, be the best teammate I can be. Chris Jones more recently, some of my younger guys, Mike Dana. I got Tyron Matthew, you know, just my teammates. Then in the past, Jaren Reed, I had Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill. I've had guys who legitimately helped me become, you know, the football player I am today. And, you know, that didn't come off being an individual. That came off solely being a good teammate.
We'll go last to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Frank, I got 2 questions for you, man. The first is, when you watch yourself on tape, what do you feel like you're doing well? And then what is there that sort of motivates you that you want to improve on? And then Brad will have a follow-up.
I'm doing some things well. I feel like I'm doing there's a lot of things that can always improve on though. I just feel like just using hands, just being more aggressive, just winning every rep I get. You know, you gotta win the reps you do get, or you got those one-on-one pass rushes, or those those 4-man pass rushes, stuff like that. You know, because you know, at times it's just, you know, throughout the game, you know, sometimes you never know how a game is gonna go, whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense. You know, you can't control the calls as a player, but at the end of the day, it's just doing your job to the best of your ability. And I feel like at any time I can always do that, you know, way better. You know, it's my job in general.
Yeah. And lastly, you did have a couple meetings with Tom Brady in last week's game, a couple penalties. Is part of that retribution for what the Bucs did previously with Patrick Mahomes in terms of their, you know, roughing the passer penalty, or was there something there that you've seen on film that you need to correct?
I ain't correcting nothing. I'm gonna hit him again. Those were my first 2 roughing the passer penalties in my career. I owe some more. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. We'll be all right. I don't owe no more for this year. I told my coach, I told Coach Spags, I ain't gonna do no more this year. Probably next year, not this year.
Hi, Mike. I know that you're a veteran in this league, but I was curious how much Mitch Schwartz has helped you with the position from the sidelines throughout the season this year. He's pretty active on Twitter, usually breaking down games that he might be watching. I was wondering how much help he's been.
Oh, yeah. No, he's definitely been a huge help for sure, because there's a lot of ins and outs to this offense that it just takes experience to learn those little pieces of knowledge. And he's definitely helped me out a lot. I mean, I could think of 10, 15 plays where he's given me, you know, notes on exactly how this is supposed to look, how to do it. So I'm very, very happy to have him to help me out there.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Mike, I want to go back to the Carolina game for a second. Looks like you lost a touchdown on that holding penalty. First of all, just want to make sure that would have been your first career touchdown, right?
Yeah, that's my first career route. I've been playing football since the 2nd grade. I've never caught the ball. I've never got a yard, never scored a touchdown or anything. So I got a pass interference. So I added that to my list of stuff now. But yeah, I was pretty excited when that play got called.
Yeah, a couple of things about that. How did that play go in practice when you worked on it during the week? And how did you prove to the coaches that you could, if they threw you the ball, you were going to catch it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it looked great during the week. Obviously it looked good enough that they're willing to call it. So, having the coach's faith in my ability to catch the ball and to call it. I was just happy I at least had the opportunity to run around. So every Friday, the O-line just kind of during one of those, we actually, you know, kind of play a little catch. So I guess, you know, they liked what they saw there. And, you know, I got to go ahead and got to play in there. So it was pretty awesome to be able to run her out.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Mike. So in training camp, you guys talked about how nice it was to have such a veteran group along the offensive line. It's hard to find that in the league. And with so many different change-ups that you guys have had this year with injuries and things like that, how has that helped you, having so many veteran guys in that room?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been nice. Just having guys that are able to play in multiple positions. Just every single team, every season, you never know what's going to happen. And on offensive line, unfortunately, there's injuries, and you got to be able to have guys that are able to bounce around, play in multiple positions, and be ready to go. So, no, it's been great having guys that have a lot of experience and just getting ready. You know, whatever happens throughout the game, you know, you have total faith and trust in them that they're going to go out there and get the job done.
Go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
While we're going down memory lane here, let's go back to the Raiders game. 143, I think it was, one timeout. You know, it's talked about your career. You've been a lot of different places, but what's it like? We've had some guys, you know, who are new to the team talk about what it was that first time you step in that huddle where it's a gotta score time or it's a hurry up, and kind of what the reaction was in the huddle. I'm just curious what yours was like, what the conversation's like in those moments.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty amazing. Heck of a game, one that I'm gonna remember forever. That was a fun one. Yeah, I get done with that series, and I'm like, man, that Mahomes guy, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. You know, one thing about this offense is I feel like, you know, there's a lot of things that unfortunately happen, holding calls, penalties, whatever, anything. And a lot of teams at that point, you know, that drive's kind of over and they're going to be punting. But with this team, this offense, I feel like all those little setbacks that happen throughout the season, we're able to overcome that stuff. You know, 3rd and long, you have a legit shot at getting a first down on it. So it's just, there's a lot of guys in this team, especially on the offense, that, I mean, you got all the faith in the world that we're going to get it done no matter what the challenge is.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. I have a flashback Friday question for you as well. When you signed with the team, you sort of mentioned how 2015 was obviously probably maybe your best season of your career. Do you see any similarities between what that Panthers team did going 15-1 and the way your guys' season is going right now, and how it may prepare you for the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing that I could relate with the 2015 team to this team is just a great locker room, just amazing guys, and I enjoy every single day coming into work. It's not a grind. It's not, hey, let's get this day over with. Everyone here is pushing each other to be better, to be the best that they possibly can, the best offense, best defense, best special teams, the best team. And that's exactly what I felt like in 2015. And it's just been a really joy to be on this team. And I love being here, and I love coming to work every day, and looking forward to this week playing the Broncos. It's going to be a fun one.
I think Seren had a follow-up. Go ahead, Seren.
Yeah, thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. Just to further up when I was the one who was asking you about that drive, right? That last drive against the Raiders. One of the stories that I heard last year was Stefan Wisniewski said there was a game when he got signed and came to the team, and it was late. I think it was at the end of the first half, and he said Eric Fisher turned over, looked at him, and said, "Watch this," and they went right down the field. You know, kind of almost this arrogant confidence. I'm just curious. Was there any conversation with you? Was there any, you know, do you guys say anything, or is everybody just, hey, everyone's quiet and Patrick's doing the talking?
I mean, it happened early, like week 1 or 2, that I realized that it's a special offense. Is that like I was saying earlier, there was a penalty, it was a 3rd and forever, and like you're like, okay, there's no way we're getting this, and then it's like first down. Like that was definitely like kind of eye opener for me, and I'm like, okay, we got a legit shot. Doesn't matter what it is in front of us, like we have a legit shot. We got the ball, that we got a chance. And no, I mean, he's done some pretty amazing things, and we got just tremendous weapons, and it's been really fun to block for Pat and everyone else, and it's been great so far.
We'll go last to Herbie Teope. Go, Herbie.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to follow up on the question earlier that Adam Teicher asked you about on your first route. You might have scored a touchdown there. And you mentioned the pat and go drills on Fridays that the offensive linemen go through. So in your opinion, among the group of offensive linemen, who has the best hands and why?
Who's got the best hands? I mean,
God, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I want to say myself, but gotta. I don't know. I mean, Fisher's got some pretty good hands. I'm pretty impressed with his. I mean, he actually has a touchdown this year, and that was not an easy catch. So, I mean, he's the only one that has a legit, touchdown. So I got to give the nod to him. I mean, he's got some really good hands, and that was not an easy catch that he had against Baltimore.